Hello and welcome here. I'm Hamza Al-Khatib and I just finished my fourth year of dental school. I use my iPad on the daily and I use it because it's such a good device and I sometimes use it as my only desk even though I have a full setup, a desk setup of my M4 Mac Mini. I will tell you today why I use it because it's such a great device. It comes in a very minimal form, slim, and it is not heavy. So let's get right into it. I have always loved the idea of a clean, minimal desk. No distractions and no clutter. And the iPad with its only one screen gives me all of that. The iPad replaces the bunch of notebooks that I have, the bunch of cables, the bunch of sticky notes, and everything that would make your desk setup a lot more messy than you would be with only using the iPad. The iPad comes with only one screen, but if you want to make it a whole lot better, you buy the Apple Pencil for it. With the Apple Pencil, I use my iPad as my reading device, writing device, sketching device, and everything you would think about. I plan my week on the iPad and I use it as my notebook, my planner, my journal, and everything you would need any notebook for. The iPad is light and it's portable. In comparison to using a bunch of notebooks or books for studying, the iPad is a lot lighter and you can carry it around with you everywhere. Honestly, it just fits in any bag I have and I use it basically everywhere, in the cafe, in class or in university, and I use it for working, studying, editing my videos and a bunch more. The Apple Pencil is the best extension you can get for your iPad. I use it to basically write down on PDFs and annotate just like I would on a normal piece of paper. Honestly, it does change the game and it makes writing on the page itself on the iPad feel a lot more natural than it would without using the Apple Pencil or just using any cheap pen you can find online. And I sometimes use it to sketch out my thumbnails for YouTube and for a lot of other stuff when I do some calculations or just writing anything I want on the iPad. What's really nice about iPads is its software, the iPad OS. With the iPad OS, you can set up multiple of focus modes, one for each work you do. One for studying, one for working, one for editing videos, and one for just relaxing. The one for studying you can customize to basically turn off all notifications so that when you are studying, writing down, or looking through PDFs and slides, nothing is distracting you from actually studying. And you can use one for working where only work emails show up, and you can set up a bunch of stuff that you can customize for yourself. So with all of that aside, the iPad is actually fun to use. I don't only use it for studying, for working, I actually use it for gaming as well and watching YouTube videos. The iPad gives you a smooth experience. Scrolling through the iPad is as best as it can get. But just don't install the iPad OS beta just like I did, because it did make my iPad lag a little bit, but it will just be until the full iPad OS comes out. So let me tell you a little bit more about how I use the iPad as my digital desk. So as you can see right here, the iPad comes in a very small factor. I have here the iPad Pro, the 11-inch version, the 22 version, and as you can see for yourself, it has a camera in the back and a camera in the front, so you won't need a webcam and you won't need anything. The iPad itself comes in a very sharp display, very nice accuracy, very nice colors and brightness. So it's really nice for using it as your normal everyday desk setup. So I use it as a digital desk because it gives me this minimal form, small form, nice looking, and honestly just like it's outstanding. So with the iPad you can also use it like a computer, especially with the new iPad OS 26. You can just activate here the multiple of different applications that you want to open in website form or just like you would on the normal M4 Mac Mini or any Mac device you have. As you can see, it will open a window form and you'll have the three buttons here to minimize, close, or to just bring it down the application. With the new iPad OS 26 update, you can even put the windows on the side, just like that, half in and half outside, and you can open as many applications as you want. Let's see here, you can open another Safari, just as easy as a drag and drop. You can even open like a Spotify, just as easily, and it will open, and you can put the applications above each other and you can just bring it back just as easy. With the new iPad OS 26, you also have the folders application that just is the same as any folders application or the finders application on the any MacBook you have. So it's really nice, the organization of it and how you open applications. Additionally, with the new iPad OS 26, you can put the finders or the folders application in the dock right here. As you can see, I have here, this folder is my desktop of my M4 Mac Mini. So whatever I have on my M4 Mac Mini, I can just by the press of the button one button here from my dock on the iPad, I can open any folder I have on my desktop on my Mac Mini. As you can see, I have all of these folders on my M4 Mac Mini, and I can just access them from right here on my iPad just by the press of one button. Now, because I am on the iPadOS 26, I can close it very easily, and I can resize whatever application I want just as easy as you can see. What's also really nice with the new iPadOS 26 is now you can actually, when you have an application opened and you have multiple of microphones connected to your iPad, you can just by opening the control center, and it will be right here a button for your microphone. You can choose what input microphone you want for your iPad, and this just adds to how great the iPad is. Now let's say you are researching some stuff, some studying topic you have, and at the same time you have Notability opened for your notes or for your slides of one subject. Let's see right here for this one. As you can see, let's see here we are studying about alveolar fracture. I can just open Safari right here and search for alveolar fracture, and I can search for whatever I want. Let's say I want a picture that I want to add to the slides, or just to define it more and to research it more so that I have a better understanding of it. With the new iPadOS 26, it's a lot easier because it feels natural, just like any computer you would use, and this is really nice. Now, previously you were actually constricted to only using like 2 applications side by side, but now as you can see, you can open as many applications as you want and as many windows as you want from Safari. So this is why I use my iPad often as my only desk setup. Now I use it as my digital desk setup because I have iCloud. So whatever application, file, folder I have on my computer, I will have on my iPad as well through iCloud, because the connectivity between the different Apple devices is so seamless and so great with the Apple ecosystem. Now another thing why I use the iPad often, because I told you I can get it with me everywhere. The iPad comes in a very small factor. I have here the 11-inch version. It honestly fits in any bag you have. It's very easy to carry around. It's slim. It doesn't like break your back when you hold it, and honestly it's such a great device. And the Apple Pencil is a must if you are a student or if you want to use your iPad as your only device. The Apple Pencil, I don't really only use it for taking down notes. I can use it for Safari, and I can scroll the websites or scroll my book with the Apple Pencil. I find it a lot easier than just using your finger and going up and down with it. The Apple Pencil is a lot easier, more fluid than you would use your only finger. Now you can use, let's see, here's the slides that I have here opened. You can write with the Apple Pencil whatever you want, and it will feel very nice as the latency is almost non-existent because I have the iPad Pro version. And with the Apple Pencil you can get as many colors as you want, as you can see right here for yourself. We are not only able to do it in Notability, you can do it in basically any applications that support the Apple Pencil or Apple Notes itself, which is really nice as well. Now you don't only have the writing down feature, you have highlighting feature, erasing feature, selecting, and text if you want. With the iPad, what's great about it, you can connect a mouse and keyboard to it. Now I have my mouse connected to my M4 Mac Mini, but if I just go to the right with it, I will have it connected as you can see here on my iPad, and it is so fluid. So if you connect a mouse and keyboard to the iPad with this multitasking feature of the new iPadOS 26, it's really nice, and you can basically use it just like any MacBook you have. And honestly, if you get the Magic Keyboard, it will be a whole lot better because you have the keyboard connected to it as well. So this was it. If you have anything about the iPad or any questions or inquiries, you can tell me in the comment section. So that was it. When I use my iPad as my desk setup, it's not because I have to. I do have an M4 Mac Mini, and I do have my phone, and I do have a laptop elsewhere. But because it's actually enjoyable to use, easy to use, clean, and gives you a smooth experience. So that was it. You tell me, what do you think about the iPad itself, and do you use it as your main desk setup? Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.